Sup y'all, Amber here. So you know when you go into a new region and then you see a Pokemon you already know and you're like, I could catch it, but look at all these new Pokemon, I'm gonna use those instead. Well, what if one of those old Pokemon evolves? And I'm not talking regional forms, I'm talking Ursaluna, because when there isn't a regional form, you don't really expect a new evolution nowadays. But imagine, right, you're fighting a gym leader, and you see some Pokemon you know already, and you're kinda confused, like, wait, shouldn't they be using new Pokemon? But then, boom, last Pokemon is a new evolution, and it's just totally unexpected. And that's what I'm going to focus on today, giving 2 new Pokemon new evolutions, exclusive to Paldea. So, let's get into it. Now, one thing that's so painfully Spanish it hurts is gazpacho, which is a traditional cold soup served with raw veggies, and honestly, Game Freak passing on this opportunity to make a Pokemon based off of it would be a real shame. And I think that a new Sinistea evolution just seems perfect for this. You know, with the right conditions, the liquid of Sinistea will change and evolve into something completely new. I think it's very easy to imagine. Gazpacho is usually depicted as being red, filled with nice tomatoes, but there are of course other variations. The one that I am also incorporating into my evolution is Ajo Blanco, which is usually referred to as white gazpacho. It has crushed bread, almonds, garlic, and some other stuff. But oddly enough, it's usually served with grapes or a slice of lemon, which I think is a unique sweet and salty combination. Now, of course, soup alone isn't enough for an evolution. After all, Polteageist is also a poltergeist, an evil type of ghost that terrorizes people. So I thought, well, okay, we're gonna need something that's fitting. Santa Campana, translated to Holy Company, is a mythical belief from the rural northwest of the Iberian Peninsula that involves a march of tortured souls wandering through a village, beginning at midnight, while all wearing white hooded cloaks. Hence why I went with the Ajo Blanco inspiration. This group of souls is led by a cursed living person, usually of religious influence, carrying a cross or holy water, and the dead behind them are all carrying lit candles. Now, you might not see these ghosts, but you'll definitely smell the wax of the candles, and these ghosts can also be felt by a feeling of dread as one passes by you, giving you the shoulder collar, literally. The cursed leader has no idea what they're doing, and next morning they'll wake up tired and groggy. And unless they pass this curse down to another, this person will grow pale, sickly, and eventually die. Now, all of this is done to announce death. It's sort of like the Grim Reaper, visiting houses where death is due. So this Santa Campana isn't necessarily evil like a poltergeist, which is what I wanted to avoid with this evolution, to flip it in a sense. This is also why this design is upside down. The Spanish salsa bowl and design are on top, and the liquid, the Pokemon itself, is pouring out. Kind of like a slug. Forgiveness and repenting were also big design elements for this Pokemon. It's holding a candle, or rather a grape in this case, and praying to the sky. The white gazpacho resembles a white robe, which seems very nun-like to me, at least that's how I would describe it. Definitely something Catholic, and Christianity is not at all hard to find in Spain. Now, combining multiple elements into one design sometimes is a challenge for me, but with this Pokemon it just came naturally. Even the second sketch was already good enough for me, because I looked at it and I was like, yep, that's good enough. And that usually doesn't happen. It did go through some design overhauls though, like I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with the bowl for a really long time, like what colors to use, what textures to use, and at first I was just gonna use Ajo Blanco, not the other gazpacho. But turns out that making a Pokemon fully white and gooey makes it look like Meet Gazambra, the white soup Pokemon. Sinistea and Paldea become Gazambra. Due to the special bowls in the region, these act as a favorable home in the warmth of Paldea. Upon evolving, their body changes and adapts, gaining the water typing. Gazambra are calm, spending most time silent with others, teaching rowdy Pokemon and humans alike to take it easier and appreciate what they have. It's often speculated that these Pokemon are in touch with higher beings, but nothing has ever been confirmed. The grape they hold in their hands is the source of their power. Whenever they attack, ghostly energies come sizzling out of the top. Obviously, these Pokemon aren't like literally going to be repenting for their sins or doing anything religious. It's only when you really analyze the Pokemon a little bit deeper then you start to see it, which are just the best designs. I just love this little sludgy fella. I can definitely imagine it feeling something similar to Muck, and because it is a water type now, it's more physical, because it's not a pure ghost type, so it has some form to it. And due to its new typing, it can also learn a few water and ice type moves. Life Dew and Haze, in particular, seem very helpful when doing double battles. Sturdy stats seemed like the best. I was considering special attack, but it's repenting, so that just doesn't seem like a good combo. What I really like is that Paldea is obviously a warmer region than Galar, right? So you have a cold soup Pokemon, which is the opposite of warm tea. So they're both, Poltegeist and Gazombra, they're both countering their home region. And again, that's what I really wanted to do. Get Poltegeist and just flip it upside down, thematically and literally. And I just really love Gazombra. Now, Delibird is one of those Pokemon that's been in need of an evolution for a long time. I mean, it's the face of Christmas, right? I'm surprised it's still just Delibird these days. But don't you worry, I got just the evolution for it. It's a merry one, but not in the traditional sense. Christmas in the Basque Country, which is in Spain, starts at the 21st of December. People go into the streets, they dance, they feast, and they all wear traditional outfits that the people of the mountains wear. In the past, this holiday was also used to celebrate the poor people who sold their goods to pay the rent to the landlords. And of course, the Basque have got their own Santa, Olencero, who comes down to give children presents just like Santa. So this dude's got a lot of lore. In some versions, he's a farmer or a shepherd. In some, adults would dress as him and scare children with a sickle. And other more darker variations have him murdering kids if the kids didn't want to go to bed. He'd climb down the chimney and cut them. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. But luckily, commonly in all tales, he is the bringer of good news. He's known as the Coal Man, and he comes down from the mountains, riding on his wild Basque horse to deliver presents, placing the presents next to the children's shoes on Christmas. This is already a cool enough inspiration as it is, but there is more. Some tales, he's even said to be a giant, a gentle. These Basque giants are hairy and huge, so huge in fact that they could walk across the sea, and so strong that they can throw huge boulders and rocks, which led to some people believing that these giants are the explanation behind stone structures and buildings. Gentilacs were also said to invent metallurgy and taught people how to farm, but eventually they disappeared within the earth, or threw themselves off a mountain, depending on which story you go with. But in these stories, Olencero was always the last remaining gentle. With all these design elements working together, this was very hard to draw. It took a lot of sketches. I mean, a bird that evolves into a giant Santa, and I had to put in all the subtle elements in there, like the hat, the coat, try to not make it just bigger and more Santa, because it isn't Santa. It's progressing Delibird's design, like the bagtail. I made that huge. So huge in fact that it resembles a boulder that this Pokemon carries around due to its giant strength. It also resembles Atlas carrying the world with him, which hints at the creative lore behind the Gentilacs again, and, the fact that any type of Santa is kind of carrying the world around with them, at least for children, symbolically. The children, their whole world is, Santa and getting presents. This bat can also be used in combat, obviously, and it does pack a punch, let me tell you that. Really honing in on the Unlet Zero parts, however, was difficult, so I knew that I had to put in the boots, the coat, the hat, the beard, and even the pipe that he has in his mouth. So I thought, okay, well, it has to be part of the Pokemon's biology. So you make the hat, sort of a crest that birds do have, a hard pointy crest which can be used to headbutt hard, and what you do with the coat is that you just make it into snow. It's snowy patterns on its body. It's a rocky body, but it's covered in snow, with snowballs acting as buttons around its belly, and the pipe is represented through the beak. I mean, birds' beaks are already super weird, so it's like the perfect excuse for such a small detail. And I can already imagine smoke coming out of it like a chimney. The beard, however, was really hard, because you're giving a bird a beard, which is weird. But in the end, it's a big, rocky beard, filled with gems, crystal, and even coal, combining the many lore aspects of Olencero and even some of Santa. If you're nice, you get some pretty gems, and if you're naughty, you get coal. Also, the flying type is now removed because flying just seems like, yeah, Delibird's a bird, so let's just add flying. So it's now a rock and ice typing. Generaus, the gifting Pokemon. The rocky terrain of Paldea's mountains are unique and allow Delibird to evolve into Generaus. These Pokemon are incredibly strong and huge. With this strength, they are now able to carry much more with them to help those in need, and bring presents all across Paldea. Every year, these Pokemon come down from the mountains they live in to celebrate with humans together, and set forth in a new year. Generaus used to be plentiful in the mountains, and it's thought that they even helped build Paldea, and over time they became less and less. If you befriend the Generaus, you have a good friend for life, and are always in good luck. So yeah, this bird took a lot. I had like 7 sketches, way more headaches, but I really like the end result. Also, it low-key looks like a hiker trainer now, which was not my intention, but I really like that. The new move that this Pokemon has, Bestowal, is pretty much present, but upgraded to the max. Now it does much more damage or healing, and it swaps around every turn, so you actually know which one is going to be used on the turn, which would be really good during double battles. Its stats are super beefy because look at it, and it knows a wide variety of rock and ground type moves along with close combat, and even some fire moves due to the chimney beak, which I just think is really fitting. This evolution really fits at home in Paldea, I think, because it isn't just, oh, Santa, but bigger, it's culturally relevant to the region, and that's just, well, super cool. So far, these two are the deepest designs I've done so far. They got multiple things going on with them, have interesting lore, and just in general, my art has gotten better. I also tried some new methods to, copy the Ken Sugimori style, and yeah, I really like how it turned out. I love the little, gems on Generals, specifically. They look gorgeous. I really hope I'll continue like this. Making Pokemon based on multiple things is just, it's just so Pokemon, I love this. I already have one sketched up, one new evolution, so maybe I'll do that next time. Also, this one took a while because, well, I'm also studying art at the same time, because, yeah, I could probably make more Pokemon videos, but if I just drew Pokemon, I wouldn't really get better at anything else. As always, I really hope you all enjoyed this video, and the designs, please let me know your opinions on them down below. And I hope that you have a good day, night, or morning, and I will see you all on the flip turn.